Hello, you're watching the introductory video for Exchange 2007, where we talk about the scenario that we're going to use for this course. We're also going to cover our lab setup, and I'm going to talk a little bit about my approach. Let's get started with the scenario. We've created a fictitious business to follow along over the course of what we're working on, and we'll be expanding our Exchange 2007 implementation as the management of this business requests certain features and changes to the way their Exchange environment's configured, and we'll be responsive and take care of those things together. So who are we working for? We're working for Cash Cow Capital Group, owned by Chumness Bovafladian. This company is based in Chicago with offices in Albany, Boston, and Krakow, Poland. The domain name of this company is CC Capital Group, but we've also got a domain name of cashcowcapitalgroup.com. What kind of business is this anyway? Well, they're a financial services business, primarily focusing on foreign exchange markets for a long time. In the past, they were known experts in the Czech dormitory bond market. But more recently, due to new markets and opportunities brought in by global warming, they've moved into the area of dairy methane pollution credit exchange markets in the European Union, where methane pollution credits are traded between dairy farms and other types of industry to try to comply with the Kyoto Protocol. This company is expanding due to its big business and has opened 2 other small satellite offices in the US and Europe. Their business has brought a large volume of mail generated by trades, new research. The opportunity for Exchange 2007 exists in the large volume of email generated by trades and research, and the importance right now of giving the field agents and brokers real-time collaborative access to that information. Currently, the company is using an ISP with POP3-based mail that's outgrown a long time ago and is eager to move into a new solution. The company directors decided to outsource the expansion to a technical consultant who can come in and install Exchange 2007 in their Chicago office and begin to start giving them the features that they need to handle both the email volume, compliance issues, and more options with remote access. Let's look at their actual setup. Right now, here's what they look like. In their main Chicago office, they've got 3 servers, a DC, a SQL server, and a file server. They've got their mail hosted at their ISP's mail server out on the internet. Each office has a router, a WAN link with VPNs going between the offices in a spoke format. Their internal Active Directory currently is a Windows 2000 domain with cdb.local as their domain name. They're going to completely leave that domain behind and move into a new domain name, as we'll see in a minute. And their current public domain name is czechdormbo.com. We're trying to move them to a new place in which we're setting up a new server on their network, C3G Mail 07, got this name a little bit wrong, and reformatting their C3DC to make that their new Active Directory server for a Windows 2003 Active Directory. Their new Active Directory name is going to be c3g.local, and they're primarily going to use cashcowcapitalgroup.com as their public domain name. How are we going to emulate this? Well, in our own lab, we're using VMware to host 2 servers for now. Both of these are going to be Windows 2003 R2 servers running on 64-bit hardware. And later on, we're actually going to add 2 more servers to this mix. We're going to add an Edge server, also running Exchange 2007, and an additional server very late in the course that will run SharePoint, Microsoft Office SharePoint 2007. We've also got a couple workstations available to do some testing from, and a public DNS server that we'll be making some adjustments on. Beyond that, we've got firewall and router information that we'll occasionally be looking at together to make changes with, and we've got a good internet pipe. So with that taken care of, let's talk about my general approach. When I teach classes in a classroom, I generally am hoping at the beginning of the class, and I tell my students this, that everything does not go completely smoothly. Because nothing's more depressing sometimes when you never actually run across any sort of glitch to troubleshoot. So you don't really learn any troubleshooting in the class, you just learn how to set things up in an ideal environment in which nothing ever interferes or throws you off. Well, what I've done is Sure, a lot of this course has been planned out ahead of time. The demos have been practiced. We've got kind of a spit-shined infrastructure to this course and where we're going with it. But intentionally, with certain operations and certain scripts that we're running and certain tasks that we need to take care of, I have not always rehearsed them completely beforehand and worked out any kinks and errors. Most of the time I have, but I've left certain ones, and I've especially sometimes intentionally made errors that I know will create common environments and scenarios for us to actually troubleshoot. So am I saying I'm going to throw you into chaos? No, I'm not. But I am going to lead you into places where things are like real life, where there are things to use your administrative and troubleshooting logic to work through. And you and I together will work through some common problems that crop up when they crop up. But most of the time, things are going to move along pretty smoothly. That being said, let's go ahead and get started with the pre-installation checklist and some things we need to do to take care of to pre-stage our domain and make it ready for Exchange 2007.